warmly welcome you all to another episode of the Wilderness Insight, which is a project done by the Wilderness and Wildlife Protection Society of Royal College, where we interview professionals related to the wildlife conservation field. My name is Malith Pathiratne, and I have my colleague Nethwin Dharmaratne with me from the Senior Committee of Wilderness and Wildlife Protection Society of Royal College, and we will be hosting this discussion with Mr. Chamal Jayasekara. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So before moving to our first topic of discussion, sir, could you give us a brief introduction about yourself and your fields of study?
Yeah. Thank you, Malith, and the team from Wildlife Protection Society of Royal College for inviting me to the session. My name is Chamal Jayasekara. I'm a mechanical engineer by profession. I studied at Royal College. I completed my A-level in 2008 and entered to University of Moratuwa, then followed engineering degree. So then after the graduation, I joined for a job. I went for several jobs in Sri Lanka as well as in overseas. Then currently I'm working at John Keels in the Cinema Life project, the biggest commercial project in Sri Lanka right now.
So moving on, so you mentioned that you're a mechanical engineer, if I'm not mistaken. So what made you passionate about wildlife photography?
Your Nethwin, actually, I was actually raised in like my father was actually working in Lanka Sugar Company in Pallet, Munidasa. So I was studied there first, then I came to Royal College after the grade 5 scholarship. During at that time when I was a kid, father used to take me to every place wherever he goes, and since then I started engaging with the nature and all. So I always love the nature, and like it was in I feel like it was in my blood. And when I was at university, when a friend of mine introduced this new technologies of cameras, DSLRs, and etc. So then I started getting interested about photography also. So after completing my university degree, then when I doing the job, I bought my first camera. Then I started photography little here and there, and while I was doing traveling and all. So later 2017, I took it as a like like serious thing, and investing on more equipment and started photography. So it's been almost like 4 years in wildlife photography and nature photography. So that's how I started photography.
Yes, sir. So you mentioned about the Cinema Life project. Could you please describe what that project is about to us?
Yeah, okay. As you might know, it's a part of John Keels group investment under different parties. At the moment, it's the biggest commercial project happening in Sri Lanka, which consists of a hotel, mall, and car park, and two apartment building. One is suites tower and residence tower, and a state-of-art office building. Currently, I am looking at 3 buildings: office tower, mall, and car park. There are set of engineers who are working with the project. They are under John Keels, and around 3,000 employees, including engineers and other executive labors, are currently working on the project. Even during the pandemic, with all the safety precautions, regulations, and all, we didn't stop at the project, and we will move on. and achieving the target and getting it delivered to the to customers. So that's I think that's enough, right? Nethwin?
Yes, that's enough.
So moving to our next question.
Moving on to the next.
So to capture a wildlife photography, sir, like it takes a special skill, right? So how did you learn about this skill and what are the steps you took to excel in this?
Okay. Okay. Well, for wildlife photography, also a part of photography. Photography is a vast field. If you take wildlife, it's a part of it. But even in the wildlife photography, you may able to excel in different areas. Like there are some photographers mastering in macro. Some people are mastering in specific animal like leopards, tigers, tuskers, and all. Some people are mastering on small insects. Some people are mastering on the fungi. Some people are mastering on reptiles. There are some people mastering in all of section. There is no boundary. So to master wildlife photography, first thing which anybody should know is like they should know the subject. So it's not a subject that we can control. It it acts their own. So if you take a dog, even like they act their own. You can't ask them to pose for a certain photo. It's not like a model. It's not like a person that we can communicate. In wildlife photography, what we are actually taking is candid. What they're actually behaving. Like to make sure that you are taking the right picture, you have to study about the subject. Like if you know the activity and behaviors of these is a particular animal, so it's easy to capture. For example, there are like birds who are engaging at the morning, and there are birds who are engaging at the daytime, and there are birds who are actively engaging at the evening or night time. So you have to study about their lifestyle to get certain shot. Otherwise, like the otherwise people who knows about these animal will question and will raise question how to like whether you have done it ethically or whether you have done it forcefully, disturbing animals, so etc. So uh, like you will be getting a lot of questions if you are not like ready to capture the subject. Like I mostly see like most of newcomers think that animals are just a subject and they are trying to get the best shot. Like they are comparing with other photographers and try to get the same like same kind of a photograph with their equipment and all. But actually they without having a good knowledge about subjects, the animals, the nature and their background behaviors, it will be a disadvantage for any photographer and as well as the animal. So it will impact on animal behaviors also. So studying about the subject is the first thing, and like studying about creative photographers, other photographers, and improve your eye, improve your composition, how you are how you are planning to get the shot, whether it's a panning, whether it's an action shot, whether it's a portrait shot that you have to think at that moment when you are photographing subject, the animal, that you have to master. It will get to in your like muscle memory with the time when you are keep shooting. For any photographer, for any newcomer, amateur, what I am suggesting is to practice this common subject. If you are living in Colombo, you can go to Valley Park, Bethagana Wetland, Diasaru Park, whatever the close like this recreation parks we have in Colombo, where you have a lot of common birds, just like the normal herons and other birds and all. They are like they're usually familiar with people, presence of people. So they won't go away when you are like keeping the distance and getting reached, they're usually doing engaging with their daily habitats while there are people in the park in the presence. So it's the easiest way because these animals are not shy. They won't fly away when you are there. So easiest way to like catch up some birds and take some photographs. And there are some butterflies, the dragonflies, and etc. etc. And maybe in your home garden also you might find good subject to photograph. So start with very basic and master your skills. So that's the second. Second advice that I am giving to any amateur photographer. And third one is respect others, including animals and the people. Like, let's say that you are going on a trip to photograph some birds in Singaraja, so you might be going with few of your friends. So give them also opportunity. Don't be an opportunity hunter and like go there and blocking others and like don't be that greedy. Give them a space, respect, and even the animal also. So you will be in a hostile environment, not like a home. So think about the other people, the external environment who are engaging with you and all. So that's the third advice I can give for anybody who are planning to engage with wildlife photography.
So is there like a favorite capture of yours, like of an animal, like the perfect capture you taken?
Like perfect capture, like there are several photos that I liked and like I think it's fortunate and it's been like a milestone in my photographic hobby, the career. Once in 2018, I can remember one photo. I can describe about this one particular incident. Just actually just 5 days before my wedding, I was really fed up, and I asked my wife whether I can take the leave, whether I can go somewhere and come like to release the stress and all. So just 5 days before the wedding, I asked her to like go on. She said okay. Yeah. Then I uh, joined a few of my friends and I went to Kalaweva, the proposed national park. So that day, when we reached there, we got to know from one of these wildlife officer, Chanaka. Day before that, there was a fight between Tusker and the elephant. So unfortunately, from that fight, the Tusker has killed the elephant. So when we reached there at Kalaweva, we saw that this Tusker was approaching this carcass, this elephant. Elephant is already dead. Uh, Carcass and trying to, people are saying it's murmuring and people are saying it's trying to damage it. Like what we observed was Tusker was trying to damage the carcass. Actually, Tusker was peeing on the dead elephant and trying to tear the ear apart. And we closely observed that it was like around 12:30 or 1 p.m. at the day, but middle of the day. It was one of greatest experience I had, and few of my captures I took in that moment went viral in the international photographic competition. Also highly commended and went through a lot of barriers and went through finals and a lot of like international photographers also asked about that this photograph and the behaviors and they really appreciated how I framed the photo and all. The without like capturing the specific details and all. It was one of my like favorite photograph. Mostly my favorite encounters with elephants and leopard, but not only with them. I am engaged with birds also. Uh, Another encounter which I had with I'll speak about small thing about leopard. Uh, when during last uh, last year February, when I joined John Keels, few of my friends wanted to like visit the national park, having a like campsite there. So there was my campsite available in Vilpattu. So I booked a bungalow. I took them. We spent the night, and next day morning, like we went to this one of waterfall. There was a mating couple. We didn't actually see them when we are entering to the waterfall, but they were on the left side. We everybody was looking at the right side. So we accidentally saw the both couple. So they were engaging in the mating, and it was a close encounter. It was a perfect shot that you can capture in Vilpattu. First thing is white sand and leopard in the morning light. So capturing two leopards in a white sand is a dream for any photographer. So in the world, I think only two places where you can see leopards on a white sand. White sand, one is in Africa. I think as far as remember, South Africa or Namibia. Other thing is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has highest leopard population density. So in Sri Lanka, you might get lot of chances compared to Africa. So it was in my dream since 2017, and to be honest, I was shocked because it was very really close for my gears, my lens. Uh, I I couldn't even zoom out because I was having a prime at that time. So anyway, we waited them to cross the jeep and went to another area and doing the mating again. So that was another like unforgettable experience I had.
That's wonderful, sir. Sir, how do you consider wildlife photography as a way to convey a message to the society of wildlife protection and all of that?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Uh, when it comes to wildlife photography, wildlife conservation should be the first thing, and first thing in and always everything that should be come up in your mind. Uh, Wildlife photographer should engage with the nature in the ethical manner without disturbing animals and the people who are engaged with this animal. Like when, let's say, when you are traveling to North Central Province or North Province to like capture some elephants who are coming to the China cultivations and paddy fields and all, we are engaged, where human elephant conflict is highly happening. So you should know the field. You should respect the subject, and you should respect the people living there, and you should able to capture photograph that represent the real problem. Like when it comes to wildlife photography, in even in international competitions also, there are categories called human versus nature and animal in their built environment. So in such a category, what they are trying to promote is the adaptation of animals to human environment, and also impact on nature, impact from humans to the nature. So how our built environment has influence to the people. So as I believe, every photographer, every wildlife photographer should know how to capture these setups, and should be conservation minded, and should use photography as a tool to convey messages to the general public, to the world, how animals and how nature is suffering from human activities. So excessive destructions of forests, maybe deforestation or poaching or habitat loss or whatever the thing. Like like there are plenty of examples in Sri Lanka, even if you want to try out. So from a good photograph, you can like speak to spike and spike everybody, international crowd, even like getting attention from relevant authorities and all. I give you a small example. There was a one photographer in who is based on South Africa right now. He took one photograph of a dead rhino. Forces have already cut down the horn. He has taken this like just a simple photograph that of the dead animal. It won actually BBC Wildlife Photographer of the Year in 2016 or 17. It went viral. So after that, there were a lot of initiatives happened in African continental to protect rhinos. There are different rhinos, and they took a lot of initiatives to protect their rhinos. Even in India, there were some viral photograph conflicts with animal, the elephants, conflict with tigers. As you might know, in India, there are several areas where tigers are coming to villages at night. They engage with people. The leopard human or tiger human conflict was really high 3 to 4 years back. But now currently their government, their environmental societies, environmentalists, and responsible authorities have taken action toward that. Even in Sri Lanka, like even we have this leopard human conflict in upcountry where a lot of government bodies and private institute environmentalists have taken precautions to avoid these conflicts. Mostly in hill country areas, leopards are coming for villages to steal dogs and these small cattle, goats, and all. So providing protection for them and advising them and is the best way to protect our natural resources as well as the human lifestyle in certain areas also. So photographer, so that's why I explained photographer has every opportunity and every rights, and he has uh, devices to capture moment where he can represent creatively these conflicts with nature and get the attention of relevant authority with conservation minded.
Thank you, sir. So moving on to the next question, sir. Sir, can you explain how your past experiences from your time as a student of Royal College helped you throughout your career?
Okay. I have a like a mixed feeling about being a royalist. It's not a bad actually. Like uh, when I entered Royal College, actually I had lot of opportunities. I don't think if I wasn't selected to Royal College, I wouldn't be here where I am right now. At Royal College, I was assistant secretary in Science Association in Junior Committee and Senior Committee both. And other than that, like I was engaging whatever the activity that happened in the school and all. So when I went to university, also like there were 100 out of 700 engineering graduates. There were around nearly 100 100 maybe like batchmates are from Royal from the same batch. So it wasn't much different when I was at university also. Even when I went to first job at MS Holding, and like there were a lot of royalists that I met in the job, and not only royalists, that's Tommy and Printy and everybody we have uh, uh, traditions. So even in my current job, my boss is Tommy. Like we don't have any conflict, but we have a lot of things to discuss like when it comes to all school days and the crazy things what we did. And even I met a senior royalist, and like we are discussing who are the teachers we had and the crazy things we did at university and all. It was a good experience. Like being a royalist eh, is creating you more opportunities like to get engaged with people. I think in the present like corporate culture in jobs or anything, having connection, building up your network is the key thing if you are trying to like plan, if you're trying to grow your career in the industry, in any industry in Sri Lanka, I guess. So being a royalist, it opened a lot of opportunities to engage with people. So like being royalist is like very senior top management person asking, oh, are you royalist from which batch you are? So this discussion sometimes go on like for like sometimes it lasts for like more than half an hour. It's a great experience, but not to discriminate others. Every human being, everybody is a human being, so everybody comes with a different backgrounds and all. As a royalist, what I suggest and I recommend is to respect everybody, respect every culture and every religion, every background, what others says, because not everybody is are royalist when it comes to the society. So being a royalist, it's not a like it's not like a privilege when you are coming to the society. It's a opportunity that your that our school gave us to be a good human being to the others, to the society. That's how I see it. Being a royalist uh, within the society.
Once again, sir, thank you for the advice. And for the final question, sir, we know the whole world is going through a very tough time due to the pandemic. So how has that affected your lifestyle and your field of work? And how have you
Uh,
managed to cope?
yeah, pandemic was, as you know, pandemic was highly affected construction industry in Sri Lanka, especially in property development and all. At the moment, I can proudly say that my employee John Keels is uh, the stable with the pandemic and all. We were on the progress and we were meeting the timeline of the project and we were moving on. But with work from home arrangement and going to work with taking COVID safety precautions, and it was really challenging. Like staying at home and managing a site and going there and taking safety precaution and managing site, two different things. And like some people had this opportunity but some people were not, so not like a normal time. We have to respect others, their personal space, personal matters when it comes to pandemic. So dealing with others was like critical and totally different than a normal lifestyle we had before 2020. Because with the pandemic and all, some people faced different like critical things in their life, critical milestones in their life. But for some people, it was comfortable. But always, what you should remember is there are some people who are struggling with the pandemic and all. So without knowing their background and all, like do not make any quick judgment, because pandemic has changed everything. If pandemic wasn't there, I believe our project was already finished, and already we are in a different project maybe. But with the pandemic, our lifestyle, everything has changed. Even you guys, you guys used to go to college. Maybe last year big match was the last thing that you have experienced when it comes to school life. After that, I think there were no significant classroom works happened in at the country any moment, I guess. It's a really challenging. Uh, this pandemic is a really challenging thing for people who are working as well as kids who are engaging in school work. So I don't like or any kids who are uh, who passed the age of 10 like actively engaging at school. Like you guys are missing your friends, you guys are missing the fun you had at classrooms, the crazy things, and you guys have been missing it for more than 1 year. What I'm telling you guys is to hold the nerves and study. That's what your school, that's what your teachers also want to know. When it comes to photography, also what I'm suggesting you to now we are, I think we are now facing the fourth wave of COVID virus. So this time its impact on human life, our day-to-day routines more than ever. So it's a more risk than before. What I'm suggesting you to stay at home as much as you can. And if you want to try some photograph as a leisure, as a icebreaker, like it might be really boring for you guys to stay at home all day, even as schoolboys, and maybe you can try with your phone if you have a camera. Just try to go the whole garden, whether find a small animal or something, or maybe you can try a light setup and capture some portrait with your parents and siblings and all. So that's what I can suggest right now. Or you can study more about internet. In YouTube, you might find a lot of interesting tutorials, even in website. Also, you will find a lot of interesting tutorials, guidelines, study about these things. So that's the best thing you can do in the pandemic. Even in the pandemic, I started when I was work from home. I had when I had free time, I started studying about new things that I was planning to execute in wildlife photography. And I studied about other photographers, how they approach animals, how they approach for certain award-winning shots, those things. So this is how I spent the pandemic breakdown, which I had, and sorting out photos and these things was another thing. But whenever I had a small opportunity, with all safety precaution, I was able to go out there. But best thing what I'm suggesting is to like study about subject. This is the best period when you are relaxing, you are not busy as much as before. So study about the subjects, other thing, conservation projects happening in Sri Lanka. There are a lot of webinars happening in Sri Lanka at the moment about the conservation, animal and all. If I came across any such a good webinar, I'll forward it to you guys also. So you can pass it to your members so they can also join, get some experience, get some knowledge from field experts also. This is the advice that I can give you all guys during this pandemic situation.
Okay, sir. Sir, last but not least, any advice you personally want to give all of our viewers?
As I said earlier, uh, like wildlife photography is it should be a media to get the messages uh, about conservation issues, conflicts in the nature, and our human impact on the nature to the general public. So, if anybody is planning to involve in wildlife photography, conservation mind should be the first priority, and second priority should be the study about animals and natural their behaviors and natural environmental and all, and respecting others is the third matter. That's what I'm telling to any amateur, any photographer who are planning to enter wildlife photography. So keep it that mind. And if you are staying at home these days, if you have free time, study subject. You have free time to do that. Not like you are when you are busy. Engage in webinars that are conducted by field expert. Like there are a lot of field experts who are doing animal and conflict and about different animals and all. So engage with them. Utilize your free time to something useful like that, and study how in the world photographers, wildlife photographers has changed things and government initiatives for the conservation matters. So these things you can you might get inspired with these things. So that's the best thing I can give for your viewers.
Yes, sir. Once again, thank you very much. That concludes our time. Hope that you will find success in your future projects and all of your wildlife encounters. Yeah. Once
Yeah,
again,
okay.
thank you, sir. Hope you have a good day.
Okay. Thank you, Nethwin and Malith and the team of Wildlife Protection Society of Royal College for inviting me, and I'll wish you good luck for the coming up exams and every activity. Okay. So have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.